Hello. So today in this video I'm going to discuss about another job profile. It's with BlackRock, and it's a job profile for quant engineer or quant developer. People use these two words interchangeably, so they are more or less the same. You may be a quant developer or quant engineer. So basically people who work as engineers or developers in the quantitative finance field. Now, these are people who actually work on the implementation side or on the data side. Okay, they don't develop algorithms, and they don't build models, but they work on implementation of these models for use. So yeah, I've discussed about quant job profile in detail in many of my videos on this channel. You may want to go through some of them. But in this video I'm going to discuss about this particular job profile, which is with BlackRock in Gurgaon in New Delhi in India. So I'm glad that such roles are coming to India more and more. I think that's only going to increase over time, because when you have a bunch of global firms coming to India, others will also follow. That happened in the IT space decades back. That's happening in other areas also nowadays, and certainly in quant finance is happening. So more and more such jobs will come to India. All right, so in this video let's go through about the job profile of such a role, and it's in their tech team. So they're very clear. You're not going to be doing quantitative research, you will be working the tech side, but you will be working very closely with the quants. Okay, and bit about BlackRock. It's one of the biggest investment firm in the world, and they are into all kinds of investments, and not just equity, but even in other asset classes. They're quite active, and they have a global presence. They are in all markets. They have offices across the world, especially in all the financial centers, whether it's London or New York or Singapore or Hong Kong or Sydney or Tokyo. In all these places they do have offices, and they are into all kinds of markets, all kinds of products. So very diverse set of portfolio they have, and I think if you have experience in working in BlackRock, that experience will be quite valued in other asset management firms. Quite valued, simply because it's BlackRock is like one of the best in that area, right? So it's like working in Goldman Sachs in the banking world, right? Then that will have a lot of weightage on your CV if you have some experience working at BlackRock. All right. Incidentally, they do have second office in India also, right? I think they are also in Mumbai. Yeah, because I think when I used to work in India, I also had an opportunity to interview at their Mumbai office around the time when I was moving to Europe. I think that's when I got this opportunity. Okay, so roles and responsibilities. It's as I've said, it's a quant developer role. So you're not going to be developing models, but you will be working very close to the quant researchers, the PhD one, but also the ones who are heavily into doing research in different kind of research. And so BlackRock is more into long-term investment, right? They are not into less into HFT type thing. They are not into this trading, right? Making money through manipulating data on different equities, different asset classes. So it's not about short-term money making, it's about long-term investment, right? So keep that in mind, because some people are too much hell-bent into just going into trading area nowadays. What I tell them is that there are other areas of finance equally interesting. So broaden your search. Don't just focus on short-term money making through trading, right? Obviously that's one very interesting area, but there are also other areas. Anyway, yeah, so the primary responsibility is to transform investment ideas from research papers and Python notebooks into well-engineered processes, primarily using Python, that leverage an innovative technology platform. It's a tech role wherein you will be taking the ideas, the models developed by the researchers, and you are going to be developing a software, a piece of software based on what the researchers have developed. As in, these researchers actually come up with all kinds of models, strategies, and these models have to be converted to a software, basically, where then it can be used with a click of a button, right? This is nothing fancy, to be honest. It's more like, okay, somebody has developed a formula. Okay, this is how you're going to assess an asset class, right? You're simply going to be using some code to implement that on certain platform with the inputs and given set of outputs, and somebody who will be using that system will not have to write the code himself, but he will simply be pushing the button and you will get the output given the inputs, because inputs keep on changing, right, with time, right? And the inputs could be macroeconomic variables, different other kind of data fields, right? So as long as you are a techie person, you are good with technology, you're familiar with Python, you have developed softwares end to end, and you have strong interest in trading, investment, finance in general, this is one good profile for you, right? Somebody who is not at all interested in finance will not do well in this kind of a job, right? But if you have some interest in finance and you're willing to learn some finance, then this is a really good profile, especially if you already have software engineering experience. A lot of the software engineers who reach out to me, they question their experience as if whether is it easy for them to move from software engineering to quant finance. Will that move be easy? And I tell them that your experience is already relevant, so it's not like you're moving from a completely unrelated area, because quant finance has now become heavily technical. So your engineering background, your software engineering experience will be extremely valued there, right? And certainly in such profiles it will be valued, right? But you must have understanding of finance, you must have understanding of some quantitative modeling, the terminologies, jargons you should be familiar with, and for that you need to read some books, you should do some courses, or you should do some certifications before you can be considered for such a role. But you can also self-study, by the way, that's quite possible. Okay, so what do they expect? They expect a couple of years of professional experience, and you should have solid understanding of mathematics, machine learning, quantitative analysis, and so on and so forth. So they don't expect you to be already working in finance. So even if you're working in Google or Microsoft or Cisco or Oracle, it's still fine, right? They are still willing to hire you as long as you're able to demonstrate that you have good understanding of mathematics and machine learning and quantitative finance. If you have some interest in finance, you should be able to articulate that. And how you can do that? Just do some side projects, learn some of things from courses or from books or from videos, and then write about that on your CV, and that will give an indication to the hiring manager that this guy has some interest in finance, right? That will also help you to sort of be different from other guys who have no knowledge of finance, right? How about you are a proper finance guy, MBA finance, but no programming experience? Will this role suit for you? No, I wouldn't advise you to go into such roles. If you are not a programmer, you should avoid these roles. Okay, great. You should have strong interest in software engineering, familiarity with agile, test automation, object-oriented programming, code refactoring, release management. Well, these are different aspects of software development, right? These are software development best practices, and you should be familiar with that. So this role is more like 80% software engineering, 20% quantitative finance. Okay, By the way, the pays are quite good. It's probably as good as any other quant researcher, but even in fact the pays are better than working as a quant in a bank or insurance firms. So even if you are a quant developer in an asset management firm, you make more money than a proper quant in a big investment bank. So don't think that this is less lucrative. Okay. And I think they probably will ask you questions related to algorithm and data structure, because performance tuning is very important in data in such profiles, right? Your code should perform really well. So it's not just to write code, but the code should be efficient, and computing matters a lot, especially the time it takes to run a code. So computational efficiency is quite important, and hence you can expect questions from data structure, algorithm, all these DSA questions that you prepare for software engineering roles. Right? I don't have to tell you this. I think those coming from statistics mathematics background, they probably haven't studied DSA. But if you are coming from computer science background, I'm sure what I'm talking about, right? So DSA is quite important if you're interested in such roles. And if you have experience with data engineering tools like Hadoop and Spark and Kubernetes and all, is quite good as well. As I've said, Python is gaining popularity in the quant finance space, and it's more and more jobs that I come across. There is a requirement of Python, so the popularity is only growing over time. But there are companies who still use C++, even Python and C#. But I think most of the jobs nowadays I come across in the field of quant finance, they use Python. So if you are someone willing to start a career in quant finance, you must learn Python. All right, so this is it. If you have any specific question on this, let me know. As always,